What you think today, how you see your life right now, was influenced by the things that happened to you. Something happened, and that changed everything.
Hey friends, and welcome to the Unpack Show podcast with myself, Johannes Baloyi. And thank you for joining me, because this is a place where we unpack the question we have in mind on the challenges we come across as we go about building and improving our lives. Friends, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you can be notified when we release a new episode. Happy New Year! I would like to take this moment to welcome you to this new year of 2023. And I know it's been a long time since we've released an episode of the Unpack Show podcast. I think the last time we released an episode of the podcast, it was June 2022. That was the last time we released an episode. And for that, I would like to apologize, because we've been working on a lot of things trying to restructure and to reshape the Unpack Show podcast on how we move forward. And also, I've been working on my personal life, trying to restructure my life, trying to reshape my life on how I decide to move on in life. And there's a whole host of things that have been happening and a whole host of things that are still to happen. But with time, we will get to introduce to you the things that we'll be working on. And so, friends, I would like to dedicate this first episode of 2023 of the Unpack Show podcast to welcoming you into this new year of 2023. And I know every year, for the past years, each and every single year when it begins, we start by saying, what are the new year resolution? What will you be working on this new year? What are your goals for this new year? But what I've seen with time is that in January of each and every single year, we are so filled with passion. We are so filled, we are so fired up with the goals that we have in mind. But with time, as it progresses during the year, we start to loosen up. We start to be weak. We start to be losing focus. We start to give up on the goals that we were intended to work on. And I've asked myself, why is this? Why do we give up on the new goals that we've set for ourselves? Why do we loosen up on the goals that we've set for ourselves? And I started to realize that each and every single year, when it starts, when it begins, we begin the new year by saying, these are the new goals that I'm going to work on in this new year. We leave behind the things that we used to do. We leave behind the friends we used to associate with. We leave behind the partners we used to date. We leave behind the behaviors we used to have. We leave behind some of our personalities, some of our characters. We leave behind some of the things that we used to do. I must say, it's very funny, because most of the things that we leave behind are the good things that happened or that have happened in our lives. And because of the new year, because of how fired up we are, because of the motivation that we get, we think leaving behind those things, it's easy. We think leaving behind those things will be helpful, but never realizing that it is not everything that you have to leave behind as you begin a new year, as you begin a new journey, as you begin to work on the new goals. And that's why this week, friends, I would like to talk to you about exponential notation. And I know I'm being mathematical, and this is for a purpose. I remember when I was doing grade 9, I didn't understand maths. I didn't know anything about maths. When they talk about arithmetics, exponential notations, when they talk about irrational numbers, rational numbers, I used to get mad. I used to, because I didn't understand anything. But this year, friends, believe me, I understand all of those things because I've took some time to put myself into practicing mathematics. Speaking of practicing mathematics, you may ask, all of a sudden, I dropped out of school in grade 9, and now you are asking, and now I'm telling you that I'm practicing mathematics. Where is this coming from? And I would like to say that the year 2022 marked as 7 years of me dropping out of school. And in the year 2023, I decided that I am going back to school. I want to be academically educated. You may put it like that. So, the year 2022 marked as 7 years of dropping out of school. And in 2022 June, I decided that the following year, 2023, as it begins, I am going back to school. Now, where is this coming from? Why am I saying that I'm going to school? Why have I decided to go back to school? This is because I set myself down and ask myself, where am I going in life? What do I need so that I can achieve the goals that I have, so that I can build the vision I have of myself? And so academics was part of, or it is part of, the path or the journey that I need to embark so that I can achieve my goals, so that I can build the image of myself that I see, or like you would put it so, a vision of myself. And so this year I'm in college, Waterberg College Business Center, and I'm doing Financial Economics and Accounting, FEA. And this year, friends, I've decided to choose to do a pure maths. I must say I was so scared. I didn't know what to expect. But with the first class of mathematics, I enjoyed it. It was so amazing. The lecture made pure maths to seem too simple. And that's why I learned something from mathematics regarding exponential notation. Why do I want to talk to you about exponential notation? Exponential notation, it is used to represent repetition or repeated multiplications. Exponential notation, it is used to represent a repeated multiplication. In exponential notation, for an example, if you say a times a times a times a 4 times, in exponential notation, when you simplify it, it's going to be a to the power of 4. To simplify it, the power of 4, or the indice, represents the a's that are 4. Now, you're going to understand it. It's not a problem. Why am I speaking of exponential notation? Exponential notation being used to represent a repeated multiplication, I found it relating to our life experience. What do I mean by this? What is it that you used to do this previous year? What behavior did you used to have this previous year? Which friends did you have this previous year? Which partner did you have or have you had this previous year? What sort of a behavior, a character, or a personality that you used to have or that you had this previous year? Now, I want you to look at all of these things: the friends, the partners you've had, the behavior you've had, the personality. Look at it, analyze it, take a close look at it, and figure out what is it that you used to do right that helped you to progress in your life, that you can use to multiply it or to add it to this year moving forward. Now, let me go a little bit back to the New Year resolution so that you can understand me well. Each and every single year, we leave behind the things that we used to do and we adopt new goals. The things that we used to have in the previous year were not bad. Some of them were good. Some of the people we've had were good people. Some of the partners we've had were good partners. Some of the behavior we've had were good behaviors. Now, we leave them behind. We want to adopt new behaviors. In adopting new behaviors, we have to start from scratch. In having new friends, we have to start from scratch. In having a new partner, you have to start from scratch. In developing a new character, you have to start from scratch. Now, if you look back and say, in this new year, I'm not going to leave behind all of the friends. I'm going to select the good friends who've helped me to progress in life and use them this year to help me to progress. The behavior I used to have last year, some of those behaviors were bad, but some of those behaviors were good. Now, bring those behaviors back to this year so that they can help you to progress in this new year. Some of the people you've had the previous year were good people. Some were bad people. Leave behind the bad people. Take good people and walk along with them in this new year so that they can help you to progress. You see, one thing that I've got to realize about this life is that it is not always in every year where you have to say, I want to work on the new goals. You have to carry on working on what you used to do the previous year, working on the project that you worked on the previous year, maintaining the friendships that you had the previous year, maintaining the relationship that you had the previous year. But what you can do in this new year is to say that in all of the projects that I've worked on, in my studies in school, in the friends that I've had, in the people I have associated with, who are the good people? How have I performed well in school? What didn't I do well in school that I can perform well or that I can do more of this year? The friends that I've had last year, which ones were not good for me and which ones are good for me that I can still have in this new year so that I can continue working with them so that they can add to my growth. The partner you've been dating this previous year, how was she behaving? What kind of person was she? How can you sit down with that person in this new year to say, you know what? This previous year, this was our behavior. This is how we have performed in our relationships. These were the goals that we had last year. This is how far we have come. In this year of 2023, how can we improve so that we can achieve more in our lives? This is where exponential notation apply. You multiply what you used to have. In investment, we call it compounding interest. Using the interest that you have to add to the investment so that the investment can grow. Now, look at yourself, the goals that you've set this year. If you have set a goal to say, in my mathematics or in my English subject or in my business studies subject or in my economics studies subject, I want to achieve 70% because last year I was achieving 50%. Who are the people, who are my classmates or who are my friends who can help me to improve? Look at the people you have currently, those who can help you to improve, and cut out the people who delayed your progress in your life. In your relationship, what is that bad behavior that you used to have with your partner that you can cut off and adopt a new behavior so that you can progress and achieve more goals in life? Because sometimes cutting out your partner doesn't help. We are human beings. We make mistakes. But the goal is not to give up. The goal The goal is to learn from our mistakes and grow together. In the projects that you worked on, What were the goals that you've set for yourself? How far have you come? What are the bad things that were delaying you for the progress of your project? Cut those behaviors out. Adopt new behaviors that can help you to progress. Sometimes it is our unwillingness to network with good people to help us to grow in our projects. Who were the negative people you were associating with? Those you can cut out. And who are the good people who can help you to progress so that you can grow? And this, friends, is using the exponential notation, repeating the multiplication of what you used to have this previous year. As you are studying this new year of 2023, it is not everything that you have to leave behind in 2022. Analyze some of the good things that you can move forward with, those that can help you to progress. Goals are not only about the new things, but goals are about improving your performance in what you used to work on the previous year. I repeat it again. Goals are not only about doing new things, but goals are also about improving your performance in the things that you used to do the previous year. Most of the time we start new things because of motivation, but I can tell you this for free. Motivation can only get you started, but your behavior and discipline, it is the only thing that can help to carry you to move forward and progress. I have learned this the hard way in life, that for you to be able to excel and be the best in what you do, there has to be a logical reason as to why you are doing what you do. And I'm going to give an example about the Unpaid Show podcast, because of it's one of the projects that is close to my heart amongst all of the projects. The Unpaid Show podcast, to me, it's like my baby. The reason why I started the Unpaid Show podcast is because I wanted the Unpaid Show podcast to be the voice to the voiceless young people who doesn't have the privilege to have parents or to come from family backgrounds where they can sit them down to guide them in life. That's why I want the Unpaid Show podcast to be a guiding force behind young people to progress and excel in their goals in life, to perform well in the things that they participate in their lives. So ask yourself this question. What is it that you have committed yourself in? Is it your studies? Is it the friendships that are working well for you? Is it about the job that you are working? Is it about the business that you've started? The project that you have started? Is it about your talent? What is that logical reason that makes you to work on that talent, to work on that business, to study hard? That reason has to be the one that push you to excel and be the best in what you do. Exponential notation, the repetition of what you used to do the previous year. And for myself personally, the reason why I'm going to school, it is because of the vision that I have for myself requires that in this journey, I take a detour and go back to school to study specifically finance, economics, and accounting, so that doing economics can be part of the puzzle that I can add to the bigger picture of building my vision. That's why I'm saying that in this new year, you don't have to leave behind all of the things that you do. Look at what it is that you can add, which puzzle that you can add for you to be able to progress, to carry on working on what you've been working on. So for me, going to school, it's another puzzle that I have to take to put into the bigger picture of building the whole vision of myself. Because part of the vision that I have for myself is to be a portfolio manager in the world of finance. That's why I'm studying specifically finance. So friends, This is what we had for you this week on the Unpaid Show podcast, welcoming you to this new year of 2023 and saying to you, exponential notation. Repeating the things that you used to do the previous year, adding some of the puzzles that can be able to help you to build a bigger picture of who you imagine yourself to be. Till we meet again on the next episode, be blessed, be healthy, and as my role model Vusi Tembekwayo once said, have the spirit of the underdog.